Okay, I want to show you how to put a sprite animation on an infinite loop using CSS and HTML. So let's jump right in. The idea I had for this tutorial was to have like a candle image, and then on top of the candle where the wick is, basically we'll have the flame animated. So I'm using Illustrator to draw my image, and any drawing software is fine. This is just the one I'm most comfortable with. So I'm going to draw the candle first and then the flame. Alrighty. I just need the wick. Let's see. Make that a bit darker. Okay, so here's our candle, and we'll just set that aside. And next I'm gonna draw the little flame that goes with it. So working with gradients here, a little more yellow. Okay, so I'll zoom into this, and I'm going to draw a few little sparks coming off of that flame. Can probably be a little bigger than this. They're going to be much smaller once we get them on the screen. Okay. All right. And then I'll draw a square around it and center it to the square. And that will help me just keep everything aligned later. Okay. So now think like a flip book, right? These little sparks are going to be traveling upward. They might be moving around. They might be changing shape. And then the main flame here might be dancing a little. We'll do 4 or 5 of these, and we'll link them all together. So let's see this one at the top. Let's say it's disappeared. This one travels up even further. This one a little higher. Let's say there's a new one starting. Maybe back here. Let's see, maybe there's another one starting over here now. Send that to the back. There we go. And just keep making copies as we go along. Oh, I think I forgot to move this. Let me fix that real quick. You want to keep everything kind of on the move, or it won't look right. Okay. And by now, this guy would have come up here a little bit further. This one out here a little bit. Maybe by now. Well, that one's won't disappear until the next one, I guess. This one maybe traveling up a little higher, maybe changing shape a little. And one of the things I'm starting to think about is this beginning slide again. So, because it's on a loop, so you want it to land where it starts. So we need to start aiming to have this one. So maybe at this point, let's move this over. Things start to happen to kind of move into this direction. So let's say by this point, this one's gone, and let's say this one starts to kind of change shape, and it'll eventually become this other piece on the far right. Let's see, this one is traveling super fast, so it goes up high. And then we'll get ready for this one to come back out. In fact, I can just copy this one over here. I copied the whole group. Let me fix that. Come over here. Do that real quick. Just not group that. I just did this. So yeah, maybe just working with this one. So you see what I'm doing is I'm setting myself up to land on the beginning again. So this one in the center starts to bud out again here. Let's see. And then this maybe starts to thin out some. Okay, we're almost there. So again, this is the beginning one, so we should be really close. Maybe one more image would get us there. So basically I need to figure out what would happen between here and here. So this one ends up a little bit further out, a little bit angled. This one, a little bit higher, a little bit grown. This one off the screen already, or at least close to the top. Here we go, close to the top. And then it'll disappear by the time it gets here. This one, basically just changing shape a little like this. All right. And you know what I'll do is I'll move this down a little and this one down a little and this one in a little bit. That way it's a little more progressive like that. Here we go. Whoops. Let me fix that. Okay. So now we're back to the beginning, but since we're going to loop back all the way around, then we don't need that beginning slide again. So here's our images. How many do we end up with? Looks like six images. So the next thing I do, I'm going to throw these into Photoshop. So copy that over to Photoshop, start a new file. Okay. Paste that. That's pixels. Okay. Oh, you know what? I meant to turn these off. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Let's try that. I'm going to just start a new file. I think it'd be better safe than sorry. So let's place that down. There we go. Okay. So here's our image. And I'm going to make note of the image size. So it looks like 1575 by 263, okay? 1575 by 263. So I'll throw this in here. Oh, whoops. 1575, 263. Okay, so I have those numbers. All right, that'll help us later. And then I want to save this. I'm going to save as, see if we have PNG as an option here. PNG, there we go. And I'm going to save this into our site folder. There we go. And I'll call it fire. Fire.png. All right. Next thing we need to do is grab the candle. So here's the candle. Copy that. Make a new image here. Paste that. Okay. And we're going to do the same. Save as. Save it as a PNG. Which keeps the background clear in case we'll do something to the background of the page. Call this candle. All right. We also need to make note of the size here. So the candle is 588,642. 588,642. So let's go over here. And 588,642. Okay, so now we need to build some classes. Basically, we have a candle. Okay. And it has a width of 588 and a height of 642. Okay, then we have the fire, which is basically these numbers up here. 1575 by 263. Now, what makes this a little different, this 1575, it's only 1575 because if you think about it, we have 6 images, but just one of them would be a perfect square. So we'll do 263 by 263. Okay. So next, we need to put our HTML together. So what basically, I just want to have like a div with a class of candle, and then inside the candle, I'm going to put the flame. So I'll say the div with the class fire. Okay. Now, what we need to do is make the fire animate on hover. So basically, whenever they hover over the candle, okay, the fire inside it is going to have some styles. Okay. And one of the things it's going to need is an animation. We'll give it a name. We'll say burn. And it's going to last 1 second. And it's going to have steps. How many steps? 6. And it's going to be infinite. Why does it have 6 steps? Because we have 6 of these. Okay, we need to define our animation. So we're going to have basically keyframes, right? And this is for the burn animation. And inside that, we have a to value. We have a from value. So it's from here to here. So basically with sprites, what you do is you slide them around. So sort of the default for this fire would be, you know, a background position of 0, 0, right? And then what you would do is you would move that from 0, 0 to this number here, but a negative because it's going to slide left. So you're going to say to negative this number here. Okay, don't need these anymore. We need to point to our images. So this is a background image of URL. It's going to be a candle dot PNG. Okay, it's also going to have background repeat, no repeat. Okay, and then the other one is just going to be the fire instead. So the fire is here. Okay. Now from here we can look in our browser and just see where we're at so far. So let me refresh this, and this is what it looks like right now. And right now it's just burning indefinitely. It's because I was hovered over the candle, so it's just burning. But you notice it's not where it's supposed to be. So we have to do a few things here. So basically I'm going to put like a body style just to push this off from the top a little bit. And it'll be a padding, and I'll just put like 75 pixels. And that should kick it off from the top, the candle itself. That kind of gives us a little more room to work with. The other thing is this is too big, right? So you can just use the transform and just scale it. Just scale it. Let's make it half the size. So the width will be half. Whoops. The width will be half and the height be half. So fuck that, it should be smaller. Okay, so now it's smaller. The other thing, I like to know when my mouse is hovering over something, so I'm gonna, on the candle itself, I'm gonna put a cursor pointer. I just like to see, it helps me see what's going on. So now when I hover over, you can see my mouse changes to a pointer. So now we need to move this over here. So whenever you wanna scooch something, but have it kind of relative to where it is initially, then you can do the position relative, and then we just use top with a negative value. I don't know, I'm just kind of guessing right now, so I'll say negative 50, and then from the left maybe another 50 pixels, and let's see how that looks. So refresh this, getting closer. So let's say top is 100 and left is 150. I don't know, let's see. Getting closer. So the top looks good. I'd say the left could be a little bit further. You know, that's pretty good. There we go. So there we have it. Now, it is still a little too scaled down. So I'm just gonna make the flame larger. There we go. Nice. So that's what we want. So that is how you can put images on an infinite loop, and notice how it looks like it's going, you know, like a fire. The little sparks are going up. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it.